Welcome to a special edition of Baxter Bell Yoga. Today I am excited to share with you some ideas on how you can set up your home yoga space with creative propping. So, you know, when we're at a yoga studio, it's awesome. We have bolsters and blankets and straps and really everything we need to do a really safe and healthy practice. But when we start practicing at home, we may not have stocked our home practice area with those same things. So I want to save you some time and money and really encourage you to be as creative as you can be, and you can really come up with some great ideas on your own that I'm sure I won't even think of. So the first thing I want to mention is in my classes I like to use the yoga straps quite a bit, and you know they come in different lengths, 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot. At home, some great alternatives would be things like a nice long scarf that you have could be used very nicely, especially if it's an older one and you don't really bother by having it on your feet or anything like that. So that could be a great idea. I've got this weird old belt that somebody gave me. It's white and it has a rooster on the belt buckle, but it's pretty long, and I could probably do a lot of the stuff that I would do with the strap with this belt. So that's a nice alternative. And then I also have a robe upstairs that happen to have a nice little belt, and it's probably almost 6 feet long. So that's a nice little alternative as well. So I've got a couple things right off the bat that I can use for alternatives to a yoga belt if I don't have one and I don't have access to buying one right now. The other thing we use in yoga quite a bit are blankets. I'm sitting on a yoga blanket right now and it's awesome. But if you don't happen to have a nice thick wool or cotton yoga blanket, you can use other things. For instance, up in my cupboard upstairs, I found this very colorful beach towel, but I can fold that thick enough that it would provide some good cushioning for me to sit on or to kneel on or to support my neck and head. So just keep those kinds of things in mind when you're thinking about blanket alternatives in your yoga practice. All right, so towels, any blankets you have around the house that are thick enough. If you have an old army blanket in the garage that you throw over something, you might throw that in the washer and then you could use that as well. What about when we're wanting thicker sorts of supports in our practice? Think about the use of bolsters that studios often have. Well, you can use things like grab a pillow from upstairs. This is actually a pretty nice firm pillow. I like to have a little more firmness if I'm going to be using it to support a back bend or some other position that I'm in, so that could work nicely. I also realize I have these nice cushions that are on the dining room chairs over there, and I could stack a couple of these up, maybe even, I've got 4 of them. I could even take my belt and wrap it around them and create a nice little prop with that. So try to get creative with those sorts of things that are thicker that you can use. You can even pull a pad off of your couch if you've got some nice padding. That could create a really great bolster alternative for your practice. And finally, what about yoga blocks? This could be the trickiest thing, but oftentimes, as I do, you probably have some big old thick books on your bookshelves that you're literally not reading and you probably never will read again. So if you grab a roll of duct tape, you can duct tape that book up so it doesn't flop open on you, and then you can actually create a nice firm squarish rectangular structure that you could use either on end, or you could stack a couple of these up for something a little bit higher, and you've got yourself some homemade blocks. How cool is that? And then the other thing that I do in some of my classes is I'll take an old white sock and throw a couple of used tennis balls inside of it. This can be a great little prop for doing some myofascial release. It costs, you know, less than $3 to do this. In fact, it's used stuff that I would probably otherwise throw away. So you can make yourself one of those, and perhaps in a future video I'll show you a great way to release the tension along the back side of your body using this little 2 tennis balls in a sock prop. So that'll give you some ideas of some simple alternatives that you can utilize in your home practice space as you're gearing up for this period that many of us are going to be involved in the United States and maybe worldwide, where we want to practice at home. We can't get to a studio because studios are closed right now. And this will give you some great alternatives, and you won't have to fret about not having the right stuff to do your practice at home. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope to see you online at a streaming live class coming up in the coming days and weeks. And don't forget, I've got lots of great alternatives online on my Baxter Bell Yoga YouTube channel. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Namaste.